So, what do you guys want to talk about? Well, I don't know. There's nothing to talk about. There really is nothing to talk about. How do I even open my videos anymore, man? Because, like, there's nothing that I watch on the show that I go, oh my god, that is so worth talking about. I gotta open my videos with that. There's nothing, man. There's nothing worth talking about in any of these shows. There's nothing of value in these shows because it just feels like a government-mandated episode of Monday Night Raw. Like, that's it, dude. It just feels like WWE's booking these episodes, these garbage episodes, just for the sake of putting out a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown. Like, that's just it. How do you have Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and all these top stars on your shows, but it still sucks? It's still boring as hell, and nothing ever happens on these shows. And all those people that talked about how Roman Reigns can save the WWE if he returns and all that stuff, well, how's it going now, huh? How is our tribal chief saving us? How is our Lord and Savior, the OTC1, saving us now, huh? Because let me ask you this. If I didn't watch the past 3 Monday Night Raws, you know, the ones with Roman Reigns, if I didn't watch any of those and just went straight to SummerSlam and watched the tag match, do you think I'd miss anything? Absolutely not, man. Because even the match that was announced, it was announced on social media. It wasn't even announced on Monday Night Raw. So there we go. You missed nothing. This dude really showed up and did 2 brawls. Yeah, that's right. 2 brawls. Where all he does is either beat up Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker or get beaten up by them. He only had 1 promo segment, which was nothing, which was horrible. And people still have the audacity to say that he can save the product. Get out of here, man. You have CM Punk come out here and say the same things he's been saying for the past year or so. None of these stars are even doing anything because in the eyes of Jean-Paul Levesque, as long as it's not a PLE, none of this even matters. So he just has his top stars come out here and, you know, phone it in and coast around doing nothing. Why? Because all that matters is that they have the top stars on their shows so they can get cheap reactions from the crowd. But from a TV perspective, they're not doing anything. They're not telling stories. They're not elevating stories. They're just standing there doing nothing. Saying a bunch of nothing. Saying a bunch of boring, cliched stuff that nobody cares about. So yeah, whatever, man. Let's just move on. Let's just get right into the review of tonight's Monday Night Raw. And by the way, I do want to clear up some stuff. I am not 52 years old. It's just some random thing I said in my previous video just cause, you know. I don't even know why I said it. But obviously, a lot of people thought I was being serious. Do I sound 50 years old? Do I sound 50? I literally sound 15. But yeah, guys, I'm actually 20 years old, alright? So yeah, there we go. With that being said, let's get into the review of Monday Night Raw. So obviously, the show starts off with a Hulk Hogan tribute once again, you know, and that takes like 10 minutes. And then we hear, oh, sorry. Hey, main event, Jey Uso's now with your city. Tahoe, it's just me, Oos. Day 1, it's just me, Oos. Day 1 is just me, Oos. Day 1 is shit, let them all up, black them down like this, yeah, let's go, Oos, yeah. It's been a while since I did that. So anyways, Jey Uso gets in the ring, and the crowds are chanting, one more time, one more time, one more time. And Jey Uso does a little hand thingy that he does every single time, you know, with the, for the one time, play my music, oh yeah, yeah. But before they can play his music, we hear, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman, and I am the Oracle for Seth freaking Rollins. And oh my god, dude, talk about a yap sesh. This was the biggest yap sesh of Paul Heyman's career. What was this dude genuinely yapping about? He's all like, Jey Uso, did your mother ever tell you about Santa Claus? Well, that means your mother lied to you. Your father lied to you. Roman Reigns lied to you. So yeah, basically what he's trying to say is that, you know, after years of manipulation and abuse of, you know, from Roman Reigns to Jey Uso, why would Jey Uso go back to team with him now for SummerSlam? I don't know, Paul. Did you watch War Games last year? You were there. You watched that in person as those two reunited, as those two fought together. And now you're wondering how those two got back together after all that drama? Now? Like, trust me, I get it. I've had the same questions. How can Jey Uso get back to Roman Reigns after Roman Reigns didn't even apologize? Yeah, I have the same problems, but that was a War Games problem, alright? It's too late now. It's too goddamn late, man. These two have been reunited for months now, so this makes no sense whatsoever. So anyways, yeah, that's all Paul Heyman did in this segment. He was just trying to create some drama, some tensions between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, but it just makes no sense. Because like I said, this was a War Games issue. This was a November 2024 issue. Nobody cares about it now, and bringing it up now just makes no sense and is stupid as hell. So yeah, anyways, then Jey Uso picks up the mic, and what does he say? I have no idea, because I can't understand a damn thing this dude says on the mic. This guy's like gassed out, completely gassed out after his exhausting entrance, so he has absolutely nothing to say on the mic, and we don't understand a thing he says on the mic. He's all like, what you say about my family, because SummerSlam, yeah, because yeah, for the one time, because of my go and SummerSlam, because yeah. Like, that's all I understood from this promo. That's all he said. Oh, never mind. I did understand a part of his promo. He says, for the one time, play my music. 4 letters, 1 word, yay. It's just me, Day one, it's just me, Day one, get out of here, man. So yeah, this segment did nothing to build up to the tag match at SummerSlam, and it did absolutely nothing to build up to the main event of tonight, which was Bronson Reed versus Jey Uso. So this segment really did nothing. Let's just move on. Anyways, then we see AJ Styles and Kabuki Warriors versus the Judgment Day. This was a random AI generated match we got on Monday Night Raw, because let's be honest, when was the last time we've had a mixed tag match? But I'm not gonna lie, random, goofy, crazy stuff like this is exactly what we need sometimes. And I thought this was great. I was entertained by this, and I have no complaints whatsoever. I do think the build up to AJ Styles versus Dominic Mysterio has been pretty good. Obviously not the best, but compared to everything else going on in WWE right now, it's actually been pretty entertaining. But I just hope to God that AJ Styles wins the IC title at SummerSlam. Because oh my God, dude, Dominic needs to drop the title as soon as possible. So yeah, whatever, AJ Styles pins Dominic Mysterio, which has me scared, by the way. Because that might mean that Dominic Mysterio is retaining at SummerSlam. I really hope they don't do that. I really hope AJ Styles does become the new IC champion. But with that being said, this was a great match, great everything. Let's just move on. Anyways, then we see Sheamus versus Grayson Waller. We really got to talk about this, man. I forgot to talk about it in my previous review, in my last week's review. I'm going to talk about it now. So Waller and Theory, A-Town Down Under, after 1.5 years of building up, after 1.5 years of teasing, they have finally broken up. So what do we get, huh? Do we get Austin Theory attacking Grayson Waller from behind? Or, do we get Grayson Waller attacking Austin Theory from behind? What do you get, huh? What do we get? I'm so excited. We get an off-screen breakup, which is just explained by Grayson Waller in a backstage segment. Yeah, that's right, guys. Just a backstage segment where he goes up to the New Day and says, A-Town Down Under is no more. Finally, mate. Austin Theory's gone. Like, that's it? After months and months, years, man, 1.5 years of build-up, that's what we get? That's like doing 3 hours of foreplay just to bust within 30 seconds. Get out of here, man. Like, that just goes to show you how creatively bankrupt Triple H is. Because if you're actually telling me that this is the best they could come up with, oh boy, are we in the trenches. And it seems like he's going to be involved with the New Day as well. Like, huh? Grayson Waller and the New Day? Like, what the hell? That makes no sense. There's nothing their personalities have in common that's going to make them a good group. At this point, Triple H is just doing stuff. I don't think he even knows what he's doing anymore, man. He's just throwing stuff at the wall until something sticks. That's just it. So anyways, yeah, that's the point. Grayson Waller and Austin Theory have officially broken up. And this week we get an impromptu match with Sheamus and Grayson Waller, which was obviously, a result of a backstage segment. So anyways, Rusev interferes in the match, but Sheamus just takes him out and then, wins the match anyways. And then after the match, Rusev attacks Sheamus, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, nobody cares about this. I get it, Sheamus and Rusev have been putting on bangers, but I don't care. I really don't, because WWE themselves don't care about this. It's just random throwaway matches they're doing right now just to get the fans, cheap reactions from the fans. When they're done with it, Rusev's gonna be back in catering. Anyways, whatever, man. Who cares about this? Let's just move on. Anyways, then we see Lyra Valkyria. Detroit, how are you guys doing? By the way, guys, look at my shoes. I got these big shoes. You know what I call them? Becky Lynch stompers. Yippee! Like, what was this, man? This promo was horrible. But okay, fine, whatever, It's been obvious forever now that, Lyra Valkyria just sucks on the mic. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like complaining too much, because at least she's better than Tiffany Stratton. So yeah, whatever, she cuts a pretty nothing promo. She just says, oh, I understand the stakes at SummerSlam. I understand that I can never challenge for the IC title again as long as Becky Lynch is the IC champion if I lose. Which is why I'm not gonna lose. Yay! Anyways, then we see Becky Lynch, and she tries to surprise Lyra Valkyria from behind. But Lyra Valkyria is a step ahead, and she attacks Becky Lynch instead. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that was a pretty good, segment, I'm not gonna lie. The promo itself was kind of bad, but the part where, they didn't make Lyra Valkyria look like a dumbass by having Becky Lynch swoop in from behind, that was pretty good. So yeah, with that being said, let's just move on. I mean, okay, fine. I think I gotta talk about this feud a little bit more. I think it kind of fell off after Money in the Bank, but it's kind of come back a little bit, a little by little. And I think it's good, it's just good. I think people are, overhyping it, saying it's the best thing in the world, and I think some people are saying, it absolutely sucks. I think it's kind of in the middle, it's good. It's just good. And this was an acceptable final segment between these two. I'm not going to sit here and say this was great, but it wasn't bad either. It was acceptable. It was decent. So yeah, with that being said, let's just move on. Anyways, then we see Sami Zayn being interviewed by Corey Graves. So Corey Graves asks Sami Zayn about Karrion Kross. He says what do you think about Karrion Kross? What do you think about your match at SummerSlam and all that, basic stuff? And Sami Zayn says, oh, I don't know, Corey. I don't know. I still don't know what Karrion Kross is trying to do here. I don't know what he wants from me. I don't even know. And then we see Karrion Kross, and then he gets on the chair. He kicks Corey Graves out, and then he says, Sammy, look, at SummerSlam, if you win, I'm gonna tell you I was wrong, Sammy. But if I win, you're gonna have to tell me that I was right. And you're gonna have to tell the world that Karrion Kross was right. What 5-year-old is writing this story, man? So the loser has to tell the world that the winner was right. Oh yeah, bro, I'm sure those are some big stakes right there that are gonna get the people excited for the match. Wow. Get out of here, man. Obviously, WWE has no idea what they're doing with this whole Karrion Kross and Sami Zayn stuff. The only reason why they're doing this is because they had to do something with Karrion Kross after how the fans were chanting for him and stuff like that. And now we have this nothing burger, boring feud with Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross with absolute garbage matches. Get out of here, man. Whatever, I don't care about this. Obviously, Sami Zayn's gonna win at SummerSlam, and that's pretty much it. Whatever, who cares? Let's just move on. Anyways, then we see Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Stephanie Valkyria, and Nikki Bella versus Chelsea Green, Naomi, and the Secret Hervis. Again, just like the AJ Styles and Kabuki Warriors match, nothing to complain about here. Just a random all-star tag match, which is something we need, on Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDowns. So I'm not complaining. The top stars need to be wrestling. So yeah, there really isn't much to talk about here, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I do think this was entertaining, I do think this was good, but there's really nothing more to talk about here. Obviously, the babyface team wins, so wow, let's just move on. Anyways, then we see the LWO versus the Judgment Day for the WWE World Tag Team Championships. This was actually a pretty fun match, I'm not gonna lie. I've said this about the LWO before, I'll say it again. Every single time they get the opportunity in the ring, the rare occasions where they actually get booked and they get the opportunity, they always show up and show out. They never disappoint, they always steal the show. And that's exactly what they did tonight. They put on a banger, they put on a great performance. I think LWO should definitely win the WWE Tag Team Championships sometime soon. So yeah, we got a great match here, and of course we got an interference from El Grande Americano, and Dragon Lee takes him out, but then we get another interference from El Grande Americano. Of course, it's someone else. We have two El Grandes now, and because of that interference, the Judgment Day wins and retains the championships. So obviously the new El Grande Americano seems to be Pete Dunne. So what's next, huh? What's next? Is Triple H going to see the We Want Mellow tweets on Twitter and then give Carmelo Hayes the mask? Because apparently the only way to get TV time now is to become El Grande Americano. So what's next, huh? Carmelo Hayes gets the mask and becomes El Grande African Americano? Get out of here, man. Because look, I really wouldn't care about this if it was some jobbers being involved, Some jobbers like, I don't know, Otis or Omos or Grayson Waller. He just broke up with Austin Theory. You could do that with him. I don't care. I will just laugh at it and just move on. But you're doing it with people that could genuinely do some great stuff on your shows. You're doing it with Pete Dunne, with Chad Gable, with Ludwig Kaiser. These guys are great wrestlers, man. Great wrestlers. And Pete Dunne is like super young too. There's so much you can do with him. There's so much you can do with all three of these guys, but you're doing this. This, man. Get out of here. It is clear as day that Triple H is just a one-trick pony. He's figured out this one thing that's gonna get the crowd popping, you know? Every single time we get a new El Grande Americano, people are shocked, people are tweeting about it, people are going crazy in the crowd and all that stuff. So he just keeps doing that every single time he has nothing for someone. Oh, Pete Dunne is here, he's in catering, and we have nothing for him? Put on the El Grande Americano mask. Like, it's just sickening at this point, man. Absolutely sickening. But yeah, whatever, man. Who cares? With that being said, let's just move on. Anyways, then we see Gunther, and Gunther says, "Last week, I left the voice of the voiceless because I am the ring general and I am the best in the world." And then we see CM Punk, "Is it good to be alive in Detroit, Michigan, or what?" And he just glazes Gunther for a few seconds again, and then he says that "I don't want to win the WWE World Championship, I need to win it." You know, just the basic stuff, and the only thing new that CM Punk says in this promo is that he needs to win the WWE World Championship because he needs to do it for the people that never forgot about him for 10 years and continue to chant his name over and over again. He needs to win the championship for them. And that's about it. That's all he says. So Phil, let me just ask you a question. If you had all this to say to Gunther, if you had all this to say to his face after what he said to you last week, then, I don't know, couldn't you just say it to him last week? Did you really have to wait a whole week just to say, you're CM Punk, for God's sakes. You're CM Punk. You never shut the hell up. You're literally the voice of the voiceless, and you're telling me that you shut up last week just to wait a whole week to say that? Are you kidding me, man? You see, this is the problem. Nobody ever does promo battles anymore, because everybody has to wait a whole week or two just to say their bits and pieces. We don't even do promo battles to build up to a match anymore. A big world title match at SummerSlam, which is the second biggest PLE of the year. This is how you build a SummerSlam world title match, huh? Get out of here, man. This just sucks. But whatever, you know, sometimes the match quality itself can make up for the bad booking. I really hope this is one of those cases. I really hope Gunther and Punk can put on the kind of match that I'm expecting. But, you know, judging by WWE's track record, I honestly don't think that's gonna happen. But yeah, with that being said, let's just move on. There's nothing to talk about here, and it really hurts me to say that, because this is one of my dream rivalries for CM Punk. And the fact that this is how Jean-Paul Levesque is handling it, it's just sickening, man. Whatever, let's just move on. And now it's time for the main event. Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. And oh my god, this match was horrible. It was just horrible, because, you know, we get like 5 minutes of just basic stuff, you know? 5 minutes of exactly what you would expect out of a Jey Uso versus Bronson Reed. And then, after that, we just see Braun Breaker, he spears Jey Uso, and the match ends in the DQ. And that's just it. And obviously, you know how things are going to end. Now, Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker are going to attack Jey Uso. And then we're going to hear... And then Roman Reigns is going to come out there and save the day. And obviously, we get just that. Roman Reigns comes out there and saves the day. He saves Jey Uso, and then they go back out of the ring to attack Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, but it backfires because Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker beat them up. They beat them up real bad. Braun Breaker sends Roman Reigns through the announce table. He spears him through the barricade, and then Bronson Reed steals Roman Reigns' shoes, which was the highlight of the show, by the way. And then Braun Breaker cuts the Roman Reigns promo from 2022, where he talks about how, like, you know, this cameraman right here, he works for me. That sign right there, that's my sign. I am WrestleMania. This is my company. Now, he cuts the exact same promo, but obviously Braun Breaker sucks. Everything he says seems super forced because he tries too hard to sound aggressive and angry. You know, he just tries too hard to sound like a beast. He's all like, "This is my cameraman, Roman! This is my cameraman! These people, they bark for me, Roman!" Yeah, that's right, guys. That's a real sentence said by a real human being. These people bark for me. Wow. Whatever, man. That's how we close out the show. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker stand tall with Roman Reigns' shoes. So yeah, whatever. This obviously did a terrible job at building up the match at SummerSlam, the tag team match at SummerSlam, so I don't care about that. It's just stupid as hell, man. You had Roman Reigns for 3 weeks straight, or 2 weeks if you don't count the return, and you did nothing with him. You had a nothing burger promo last week, and now this week, you did nothing with him. Only a brawl. Are you kidding me, man? You had Roman Reigns available for a show, and all you did with him was a brawl. Get out of here, man. So yeah, whatever. That was it for Monday Night Raw. Obviously, a terrible show. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10. Get out of here. Anyways, yeah, that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.